Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm very excited for today's video. I was doing a little bit of research and literally going back through all of my old videos last night, and I used to film like disappointing makeup products all of the time, and somewhere along the way I really stopped filming those, which is crazy because I used to really enjoy filming those videos. And if you asked me before I did research yesterday, like when did I film my last disappointing makeup products, I would have said like probably within the last year, but I really have not, aside from like worst of 2024. So I was like, I want to get back to filming like disappointing makeup products. They don't all have to be like the worst of the worst, but just makeup products that for one reason or another did not necessarily meet my expectations, disappointed me in whatever way it might be. So I have quite a few products in front of me. The majority of these I bought, a couple of them were sent in PR. I was thinking about not including any PR product, but I did want to also include some of the products that were sent in PR that I was excited about that just did not live up to my expectations. So if you are interested in hearing my thoughts on some disappointing makeup products, stay tuned. First, if you have yet to subscribe to my channel and you like chit-chatting about makeup, palette-themed content, just hanging out, I hope you'll consider subscribing before moving on. Also, don't forget to leave a comment and like this video, or do anything else the YouTube algorithm loves for you to do. I would really appreciate it. And without further ado, let's get into some disappointments. Okay, I have a wide variety of products to talk to you about today, and I'm gonna try and have fun with it. What am I doing with my arms? I feel like I'm like doing like a choreographed dance to like Walk Like an Egyptian. Do you guys know, or am I like aging myself? Do you remember that song? I believe it was called Walk Like an Egyptian. I love to basically compare my makeup products to men. So just putting it out there that the products that I'm talking about today, if compared to men, would be like the men that like, even if you're so bored at 10 p.m. on a Saturday night, like they're not worth getting out of bed, showering, getting yourself ready. Like you're ignoring. You're ignoring, they're not worth it. Let's start with this product right here. This is the Patrick Ta Talk to My Team. Nope, this is the Patrick Ta Eye Illusion Eyeshadow Duo in the shade Talk to My Team. Okay, this is the one that's like kind of pinky duochrome, and I love like a pink special shade in an eyeshadow palette. I like something that has that like pinky peachy golden sort of shift. So when I saw these released, I was really excited about this duo specifically. I was like, $42 seems like a lot, but like I still like, I felt like these eyeshadows were going to change my life. This would be like, oh my gosh, like when you're in high school, like think of the most popular kid in high school that everyone wanted to get with, and then you all turn 21 and you're like out at the bars drinking the day before Thanksgiving, which is like always like a class reunion out at the bars, and then you see said person and you go home with said person, and it is just like the biggest disappointment ever. And you were like, I cannot believe I have fantasized about this person for so long, and this is what I got. The fantasy that was sold with these Patrick Ta duos absolutely did not meet the expectations. Now I do know like the gold duo, I believe, was definitely more sparkly and more glittery and more special, but we were sold this fantasy that all of the duos were supposed to be that way, and they were not. I just feel like this is such a dull, boring like duo. Like on the eyes, this literally does nothing special for me. Swatched out, like I'm like, okay, it looks like maybe there's potential there. There's no potential here. There's no future for me and the Patrick Ta duo. I do not have, like, give me anything except for boring. I can't work with boring. And there's nothing exceptional about this product. There's no reason anyone should pay $42 for at least this specific duo in my mind. $42 is gonna get you like a whole eyeshadow palette with honestly a look that you can put together that's gonna give you more than this. This was such a letdown in my opinion. So disappointing. I'm honestly angry I spent my money on this, and we're just gonna move on. Okay, we can talk about this one next. This one wasn't necessarily selling me a lot. And I wouldn't say this is like a horrible product, but this is just like mediocre at best. This is the Catrice Marblicious Liquid Lip Balm. This was supposed to be a dupe for the Givenchy liquefied lip balms that had like the marbling to it. You can tell I've used this one quite a bit because all of the marbling has gone away. This is just like your standard basic boring lip gloss, and it just doesn't really provide me much of anything other than just being a standard basic lip gloss. I think I was so excited about this. I saw Samantha March do a really beautiful lip combination with this. I didn't buy the whole lip combination, but I think in my mind this was going to be exactly like the Givenchy liquefied lip balms, and it's just nothing special in my opinion. So in terms of like, is this a bad product? No, but in terms of, am I disappointed by this because I was thinking it was gonna be so much more fun than it was? Yes. Okay, another lip product I was so excited for, and this released at like the peak of my curiosity or like excitement over lip oils. It's the NYX Fat Lip Drip Oil. I was so excited for this because I love the Clarins lip oil, and I thought the packaging just reminded me so much of the Clarins lip oil, but it was NYX, so it's gonna be a lot cheaper. And so I ended up buying 2 shades, and this is not a lip oil. This is like a glorified lip gloss in my opinion, and it's just nothing special. It's not horrible. Like, it's not a lip gloss I would want to like never put on my lips, but I was sold the idea that this was a lip oil, and it's just, it's thicker, it's a little bit sticky, and it's, in terms of even like lip glosses, like if this was marketed as a lip gloss, it's not a lip gloss that I would want to go out and repurchase. I just was not at all excited about this after unfortunately buying 2 at the same time and then realizing it's just a glorified sticky lip gloss in my opinion. So this was definitely a disappointment as well. Okay, maybe I'll talk about the PR products next so that we don't like end on PR, because I know like some people just really don't like to talk about PR. Although, is that still a thing, or like are we over that? I don't know. Okay, up first I have these Glossier eye crayons. When I received these last year, I will say I was less into an eye crayon than I am now. Now I'm like really getting into eye pencils and eye crayons. Like, I really like my Half Magic eye crayons over here. But these from Glossier are so bad. They're just so bad. And I'm not even trying to be mean. They're not good. And of all brands, I would expect Glossier to have like a good eye crayon. It just makes sense to their like brand aesthetic, like the clean girl makeup. It just would make sense for them to have like the pinnacle eye crayon. I don't even think that's proper vocabulary. I just wanted to use the word pinnacle, but I think I just made myself sound really stupid. Let me swatch the shade, like swatch the shade Hook. This, okay, there's Hook swatched right there. It's just, it's extremely dry. It's almost like you're literally using a Crayola crayon and like you trying to use that on your eyelids. Like, it's just so waxy and so dry. It honestly like hurts to put on the lids. And then it's just really nothing impactful, which I could kind of get over because I could see, you know, again, the clean girl aesthetic. Maybe you don't want something super, super punchy on the eyes. So I'm not even gonna like dock it points for that. But if it's gonna hurt that bad to like get on my eyes, I want a little bit more of an impact, a little bit more of a punch, and it's just like, it's just kind of barely there. So I was not impressed with these at all, which makes me really sad, especially now that I really am getting into a crayon. Whoops. Oh, now I'm flying them everywhere. Sending them flying. Now that I'm getting more into a crayon, if these were good, I'd be really excited about them. My God, they're going everywhere. But just not good. Just not good. Okay, I have a couple of products from Bare Minerals. First up, I have this. This is the Complexion Rescue Bronzer, the liquid version of Kiss of Copper, which Kiss of Copper was like my favorite blush for such a long time. So when they sent this over to me, I was really excited about it, even though I'm not much of a liquid blush sort of a girl. This is like just, okay, come on. I don't want to squirt, what? I don't want to squirt too much out. It's kind of hard to avoid. Okay, this is literally just like, and I get it's Kiss of Copper, but it's just like such a coppery orange in such an unflattering way. Like, it almost looks like an orangey yellow. Like, I have such a disgusting thought in my mind, but it's not even like, it looks like, it looks like you were like out tubing on the river and you had way too many beers and then you like had to go like explode in the porta potty. It's like literally the shade that it reminds me of. And if I didn't think I was gonna lose subscribers, now I most certainly have. Anyway, it's really the shade for me. I just can't do it. But I will say I did buy the highlighting blush in Opal Glow. Haven't used it yet, but it looks so much prettier than this. I'm really excited about this. More for like an all over body glow. We'll see. Okay, and then the last Bare Minerals product, I was so excited about this. This is the Gen Nude Highlighting Blush. They sent over the shade Mauve Glow, which maybe a different shade would work better for me. But I remember when they were first launching these, I was so interested in them. And then I saw Lauren Mae Beauty do a review. I can't remember what shade she has, but she was like, don't love this. Then I think she got more shades and ended up really liking this. I was really excited about this because I am into like a glowier cheek. So I was like, ooh, like a blush topper sort of situation. But this, it just, especially because it is more of like a mauve toned shade, like I can't get away with this as a highlight at all. I don't know if you can tell with the way that my lighting is. I can't get away with that as a highlight at all, but it's way too metallic for me to use as like a blush topper. It does not work for me. It just doesn't work for me at all. It almost looks like a highlighted cheek bruise. It's just not flattering. I think on someone with a darker complexion, this could look very beautiful, but for me and my complexion, it just truly doesn't work. So I was disappointed in this. I am still potentially thinking about swatching and maybe picking up a different shade, because a different shade I think could potentially work better for me. But this shade specifically was a letdown. Kind of in that same vein, this is something I purchased myself. This is the Say Glow Sculpt in the shade Pink Glow. I was really excited for this because I thought this would be a really beautiful cream highlight. I wasn't necessarily thinking of this as like a blush topper per se, and I can't remember if these were marketed as like a blush topper or a highlight. I honestly can't remember. But this shade specifically just doesn't really work. Well, it just doesn't really work in the ways that I wanted it to on my cheeks. It ended up looking a little bit dark as a highlight, but it didn't necessarily work as like a blush topper again. I feel like right now, because I'm tan, it looks a little bit better. So maybe I should try this in like the dead of summer, whereas usually I was using this in the dead of winter. The other complaint I have about this is aesthetically, it just does not look nice at all. And this happened like upon first swipe. Like even if I were to clean up the outer edge, like what is happening? I really don't know. And it doesn't necessarily translate onto like the skin or the swatch, but aesthetically it just doesn't look great. Now I haven't decluttered this yet because I still do really like want to make this work in some way, but in terms of like my perfect, beautiful, like blown out highlight, this just really did not turn into that, which I thought it was going to be my new favorite pink highlight. So I thought that this one was kind of a letdown. Okay, another highlight. I will say, I don't know what I was on. I don't know if I had like way too many Trulies or seltzers or margaritas when I was first trying this. I'm kidding, of course. My ex-husband is gonna hear this and be like, oh my God, you're such an alcoholic. It's a joke. It's a joke, okay? It's a joke. But when I first tried this, I really liked this. I really did like this. And then I pulled this back out and I was like, what was I thinking? I probably got this right around the time that I was like in the like very final stages of divorce. Maybe I was just like flooded with the stress of that. This is just not good. And I think I've also like my thoughts about Patrick Ta as a person, and so inevitably his brand, have just changed somewhat as well. So there could be a bit of that, but this is actually truly, like everybody says, it is really like Vaseline for your face. It never sets down, it stays sticky, and it's so freaking annoying. And you can set it with this, but it's still sticky. And this is just like almost like a sheer pink powder with like a bit of like glitter running throughout. I'm like, what actually is this product? Aside from not good at all. That's what it is. Not good, not worth the money. I think that has actually been discontinued, so I don't even think that's available anymore, but I absolutely regret buying that. Okay, there is one more PR product that I forgot to talk about. It's the Lawless Forget the Filler Definer, like lip liners. These are way, 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 way too creamy. I only have one shade that I like, and it's Nude Honey. And it's because it's so nude that even like if it slips and slides around a little bit, it's not that big of a deal. But when I started using the darker shades or the red, I realized like, wow, this really like slips outside my lip lines more than like a bullet, like sheeny lipstick at times. So in practice, I just don't think it's a great lip liner formula. I definitely like something that's a little bit stiffer. Sometimes I'll use my lip liner all over my lips like a lipstick as well, but this still is too creamy for that in terms of it just gets outside the lip lines way too easily and can get really messy. So I don't, there's many better lip liner formulas on the market. And I love Lawless as a brand. I love the Forget the Filler lip glosses, like you guys know. So it pains me, and I was so grateful for them to send over like their entire lipstick and lip liner collection, but the lip liners in my opinion are just not that great. All right, moving on to the rest of the things I purchased myself. I have three foundations, and I love to test foundations, so inevitably I'm gonna get some foundations that I just don't love, and these are the three that I just don't love. So up first, I have the Huda Beauty Easy Blur. I thought that I liked this, and maybe I did like when I first got this last fall, but I think my skin has definitely changed in the last 4 to 5 months. I'm honestly really confused as to like what's happening with my skin. I feel like I'm starting to like actually get oily, like in my T-zone, and I'm like, what actually is this? But then I'm also so dry. It's an interesting situation, an interesting phenomenon, but I just don't think this is flattering on my aging skin. I feel like if you have younger skin, or maybe you just don't have, I don't know, if you don't have imperfections that you're trying to hide, I just feel like this is one of those things that makes me look like my pores are almost like larger than my pores are. I feel like it ages me. I don't feel like this wears off gracefully. I feel like when I first started testing this, I really thought it was, so I think it really could be something with my skin. And I know a lot of people love this, but for me, I really bought into the hype of this, and this is something that I do see myself decluttering during my next declutter, because I just do not think this is flattering on my skin. And as I'm getting older, I'm definitely getting a lot more picky about my foundations and how they look on my skin, and this is just not my most flattering foundation. So that is something that I will likely be decluttering. And then I have the ABH Beauty Balm. Samantha March and Angie were both raving about this, and I think I didn't necessarily understand how sheer of a product that this was, so that is definitely on me. But I wanted a stick foundation because I do like to have a stick foundation for travel. If I'm staying over at someone's house, if I'm going home to my mom's house and staying there, like if I want something to have for like overnight travels, like get ready for work or something the next day, I like to have a stick foundation just because it's easy to pack and bring with, and it's easier to like put on the fly. So I finished my Fenty Beauty stick foundation, wasn't committed to repurchasing that, and so I wanted to buy this, and it was newer at the time that I bought this, and it's just way more sheer. And again, there's just something is happening with my skin. It's dry in some areas, and I feel like this makes my skin like, it's sheer so it doesn't cover anything, but then it clings to like dry patches, so it just only, like you can only see this in the areas where like you have imperfections or dry skin. So it's just, again, not flattering on my skin. I'm gonna try this a few more times this summer before I make my final decision on it. I'm trying to do different things with my skincare, so I'm not fully committed to decluttering this one yet, but it definitely was not what I personally was expecting, and I did find that one quite disappointing. And then I have the Haus Labs Triclone Skin Tech Foundation, and this is another one. When I first started using this, I thought I really liked this. I thought it was really long lasting. One positive thing I do have to say about this is it's extremely lightweight on the skin and does offer a decent amount of coverage. My thing with this is I do feel like some days it looks really good and some days it makes me look, again, like my pores are enlarged, like my skin is drier than it needs to be. The girl that I work with has this too, and she's like, it just makes my skin look so dry. And then the other thing that I just don't love about this is this just does not wear off gracefully, at least on me. And I don't feel like this lasts me through a full shift at work. Like I don't feel like it lasts me through the workday, and I just don't love it for that reason. I only wear this now on days that maybe I'm only want my makeup to last or need it to last 4 to 6 hours, maybe when I'm filming. But in terms of like wearing this to work, I just don't trust it and I don't feel like it comes off in a flattering way. And so many people raved about this, and I think a lot of people do really, really love this foundation, but for me and my skin, it does not work. Next, I have the Huda Beauty Cherry Blossom Cake. When I first started using this, it's never been my favorite, because when I first started using this, I think I still had the Givenchy Prism Libre under eye, like the old version, and I definitely like that one better than this. And then I only had this for a little bit, and I was like, well, it's fine. It's very full coverage, very mattifying and heavy underneath the eyes in my opinion. And then I got the Makeup by Mario, and I just like that one so much more. So I definitely am going to declutter this when I do my makeup declutter. I think if you have oily skin, or you like a super matte under eye or something really blurring underneath the eyes, I can understand why so many people love this. But for me, I have just found I like something that blurs underneath my eyes, and the Givenchy was mattifying. There's just, sometimes I find this just looks so heavy underneath my eyes, looks a little bit almost ashy. I don't know. It's just not flattering underneath my under eyes, and I thought I was gonna love this because everyone else did, but that's not always the case. Not always the case. So that one just didn't work for me. And then the final two products that I have to talk about are newer to my collection. So up first, I have the Tower 28 Get Set Long Beach Iced Tea, sorry, the Get Set Blush in Long Beach Iced Tea. This is not a bad product. It's just disappointing in the sense that, like, it's just so meh. In terms of, like, if this were to text me at 10 p.m. and I truly had nothing else going on, I might get up and, like, you know, just go have some company. Like, this is something that I will still wear, still use. So yeah, this is one of the products, of all the products in here, I think this is the one that I would go see at 10 o'clock. Maybe the lip gloss too. Maybe this. Anyway, and I knew this going in. I wanted to buy the nude blush. I think also for me, or sorry, the nude shade in the line, which for a nude blush, I like it for a nude blush, but it's matte on the skin. And I knew that going in, and I should have just thought with my brain a little bit harder. I don't like a matte cheek in any sense of the word. I will do a matte bronzer, but for blush, I absolutely need to top it with something. And so for that reason, I'm constantly having to use this with something else. So it's not like this is just like good on its own. Like, this is like a threesome situation. Did I take it too far? Like, we're definitely having to bring something in to make this perfection. We're taking it too far. Let's move along. This is like not a bad product, but I'm pointing this out as a disappointing product because I do anticipate that I'm calling this video disappointing makeup products. But then I'm trying to think, like, when I bought this, I feel like did I go in with like the highest of expectations? No, I just don't like a matte blush. That's what it comes down to. I'm talking about this because I really realized that I just don't like a matte blush at all anymore. So this is disappointing. I wish if it had like a little bit of a sheen to it, I might feel differently. Okay, and then the final product, I'm so freaking disappointed in this. This is the Laura Mercier Real Flawless Luminous Perfecting Powder in Translucent. So I had swatched this in store, and this is like, I swatched this in store, and I thought that this was so beautiful. And I love the Hourglass finishing powders. I love them. Like, I think it's because, again, I like to have a little bit more glowy skin now, especially like as I get older. I like to add the glow. Like, I like to have that juicy youthfulness. I have to add that back to my skin because right now we're looking crusty, dusty, musty, and old, as my daughter would say. She doesn't say I look old, but anyway, I thought that this was going to be kind of like a dupe or very similar to the Hourglass. They're both high end. Like, it's not like I was buying this because I was like, oh, I'm saving money, but when I swatched this, I thought it looked so beautiful. It like honestly makes my skin look drier. I feel like this is something like the package, it has a big package. It has a big package, but then it like just doesn't know what to do with itself. Horrible. Okay, we've had enough fun with the sexual jokes. Okay, yeah, we have. In all seriousness, this just looks really dry on my skin. It literally like doesn't add luminosity, and it almost like it almost looks like I'm patting on to like make my skin look like the desert floor, like the ground of the desert. Like, you know, when it's like almost like dried clay or dried mud and you get like the cracklings. I don't live anywhere near the desert, and I know there's sand in the desert, but I'm thinking more of like dried, almost like a clay dry ground that's like starting to crack. Like I feel like that is what I'm like putting onto my cheeks. Like I feel like I could look like I have a real flawless foundation finish, and then I just want to add a little bit of this to add a little bit of glow. And this says real flawless, and then it's taking away the real flawlessness of the foundation and it's adding real flaws, because then I'm looking just like honestly like crusty and like crinkly. Not good. Definitely decluttering this. That is going to wrap it up for today's video. Thank you guys so much for sticking around to watch. I'd love to know in the comments below what products recently have disappointed you. Let us all know what to steer clear of. Thank you guys so much for sticking around to watch and for supporting me and my channel as you guys always do. I love you guys so much, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.